Ladies and gentlemen, Sigvaldo Green here, and today we are going to go ahead and build Silver Batman. Silver Batman is the character that was most voted by you guys in the last poll that I have done on the channel, so in the future if you want to interact with me in that way and you want to vote on the next character that I'm going to do a build guide on, make sure you are subscribed to not miss a community post and vote on those things. So today we are going to cover a few things. First of all, we are going to go over a build. There will be only one build because with the Silver Batman the only thing that you could do is being a damage dealer. There might be a little bit of a variation depending on a certain situation that I'll talk about, but there's only one build out there really for him. After that we will talk about what abilities you should max on him, we will talk about what team comps you should use on him, and we will talk about what artifacts are required in order to play him most efficiently. So with all that being said, like this video if you like it, dislike it if you dislike it, comment down below for any questions that you might have, maybe subscribe for more content like this, and maybe also hit that bell button to get notified for every single upload. With all that being said, let's get into it. But before we get into it, make sure you check out OYHD. His channel is the channel I got all the raid footage in this video from. So without guys like him, my videos would be still possible on the raid guides, but they will be far less interesting. So make sure you check him out and maybe subscribe and hit that bell button if you like what you see. Before we get into the actual build guide, a little bit of a disclaimer. I'm going to tell you how I have calculated all the things. First of all, this build will be calculated for level 60 gears, because in my opinion it's not worth to get especially Silver Batman to level 70 gears, and level 60 gears will be more than enough for him. And other than that, there will be calculated with maxed out stats. What do I mean by maxed out stats? By maxed out stats I mean the fact that this will be calculated for all gears at level 60, all high rolls on gears, all epic talents character at 6 stars and level 60. If you don't have any of those, it's okay, you can still follow the build. Most people will not have all those from the start. So this build is going to calculate and try to make the perfect build in the perfect scenario for Silver Batman. It's going to set a goal for you to go towards. If you are not quite there or far away, it's okay, you will need to follow this build guidelines until you get there, or until you get to a spot where you are comfortable and you don't want to go higher. So while this build will be calculated for maxed out stats for the purpose of accuracy, you can follow it at any level and with any build. So let's get into the actual build. This build will be a damage dealer build, and it will focus on having as much attack and as much critical attack damage as possible, and maxing out the critical attack chance as well. Maxing out the critical attack chance will not require many things because of the fact that he's going to get 20% additional from the passive, added with 5% from the gear set, 21 the gear base at level 60 and 1% base. He will end up with a total of 47% critical attack chance without you having to put any critical attack chance on him. And we will max out critical attack damage, critical attack chance to the max, and attack. So the build will go the following. You'll need to have 1 critical attack chance talent, 5 critical attack damage talents, 1 critical attack chance gear roll, 1 critical attack damage gear roll, 13 attack gear rolls. And for maxed out stats, yet again by maxed out I mean if you have level 60 gears, if your character is level 70, if you have only high rolls and only epic talents, you are going to end up with the following: 5,525 attack, 74% critical attack chance, 300% critical attack damage, total of 305, going over the limit only by 5%, 21% defense, and 16,284 health. So this build is going to perform well for you in Arena and Champions Arena as well, but this is mainly made for raids. With a quick mention, this build will be viable for hitting Dr. Fate, Phase 1, Phase 3, because those are usually the places where Silver Batman is going to deal damage. And he's also going to deal damage against Gorilla Grodd, but if you want gear which is Gorilla Grodd specific, you will need to cut off the critical attack chance gear roll and replace it with an attack. Because when fighting Gorilla Grodd specifically, Silver Batman is going to get a boost of 10% or somewhere around that point, even more of critical attack chance. So if you are going to do a build specifically for Gorilla Grodd, one critical attack chance is not going to be necessary, and you can replace it with attack. Yet again, you can keep this build and fight Gorilla Grodd still and keep it as a more versatile build to hit any place in the raids, but that was just a quick mention worth adding over there. So with all that being said, let's talk about what ability you should max. In terms of maxing out abilities, you have two ways to go around when it comes to Silver Batman. He's going to have one ability which is going to be very good for Arena, and one ability which is going to be very good for Raids. For Raids, you're looking forward to max his special tree, because that is the thing that will deal the damage in Raids. You'll only be using that in Raids. And for Arena, in Champions Arena, you might be looking also at maxing his second ability, because his second ability can have a pretty long stun if the stun manages to land, and he has some pretty sick combos, and it's pretty cheap, so you can chain a stun after another stun. So second ability for Arena, third ability for Raids, first ability is not really worth looking into, and of course max his passive as soon as possible. When it comes to the teams, I'm going to only talk about teams for Raids, because for Arena and Champions Arena you can figure it out, you can pretty much fit in any team. Of course, Dr. Fate is always welcome, Bane can give him that additional critical attack chance if you don't have him built yet, and so on. But the things that we are going to look for is going to be raid teams, because those raid teams are going to be the more specific things that you will require in order to have optimal performance with him. So in terms of raid teams, we are going to look at two situations. First situation is where you are fighting sub-bosses, and the second situation is where you are fighting phase 1 or phase 3. Why the difference? Because of the fact that sub-bosses are going to have much more defense than a Brainiac, and for that you will need to have in each one of your team classic Superman in order to reduce their defense. So the team is going to go the following. Of course, you'll need to have Silver Superman, because of the fact that this guide is about him. Classic Silver Batman, excuse me, classic Superman for reducing the defense of the enemy boss with his special 2. And when it comes to the third member, you can have a combo builder like a Reverse the Flash to build a combo fast, or you have the second option of having Justice League Superman as a combo builder, because of the fact that that Justice League Superman is going to have a passive which will be able to increase the attack of himself and any Batman character for every Batman character that is in the team. So Justice League Superman will act like a better combo builder, let's say, because he will also boost the attack of Batman. When it comes to phase 1 and phase 3, you will not really need to have classic Superman, because phase 1 and phase 3 do not have much defense, and your team is going to be the following. You have two options to go around it. First option, you're going to be having Justice League Superman, yet again for that passive, and another Batman character. It doesn't really matter what Batman character. Arkham Batman would be the safer option, because it's going to also make your Batman tankier, your Silver Batman tankier, but it doesn't really matter. Just put any Batman in there, because having two Batmans in the same team will further increase the buff of Justice League Superman. If you don't have Justice League Superman, or you are not looking forward to using this team, then there's also the team of a combo builder, which for example Reverse the Flash, and a power reduction character, which will be Dr. Fate or Supergirl or Power Girl. Okay, with all that being said, these are going to be the team comps. Let's move on to the artifact section. In terms of the artifacts, you really have only one option when it comes to him as damage dealer. Use the All Blades. Just do yourself a favor and use the All Blades, because right now the All Blades is going to be the most powerful offensive artifact in the game, and is going to scale very well with his playstyle of tagging in using a special tree and then tagging out. And you're going to do amazing, trust me. You just use the All Blades. If you don't have the All Blades, Claws of Horus could be a decent replacement, and if you don't have Claws of Horus, I guess Amulet of Arcane or something, that you should really look forward to get Claws of Horus and tap. But Amulet of Arcane can do a pretty decent job, since he deals the most damage with his abilities. Yet again, tap will be the best option for you over there. With all that being said, this has been everything for this video. Thank you very much for watching. Make sure don't forget to check out OYHD. If you want to vote on the next build guides that I'm going to do, make sure you are subscribed to not miss a community post. And about live streaming, I don't think I'll be live streaming today because I had a little bit of an issue and I have something very important happening in my league right now, so it would not be the best time to live stream, but I promise that tomorrow I'll do my best to really live stream. And if I get to go to the bank until then, we might also do a giveaway. No promises on that, but I'll do a giveaway for you guys as soon as I get to the bank. So with all that being said, thank you very much for watching. Comment down below for any questions that you might have. Like this video if you like it, dislike it if you dislike it. Maybe subscribe for more content like this, and I'll see you in the next one.